Welcome to the Ready Hub with me, Dee. Today we're going to go through a simple few poses that we can do for a better posture. So we're going to be working on the shoulders and the neck area. Lots of people today have like hunched shoulders and our neck is more curved because we're constantly looking down at our phones. So I'm going to do some poses today that can counteract that. So grab yourself a comfortable spot and we can get started. So we're going to start seated on our mat. I'll just come to the side so you can see. So I'm going to sit on my heels, inhaling, lengthening the spine. We'll bring the shoulders up, back and down. We're just going to interlace the fingers behind the back. So you can grab opposite hands and pull them back. You can come to close your eyes and we'll just bring the awareness to the breath. As we begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. We'll just hold it here for a few breaths as we arrive on our mat for today's practice. So we're pulling the shoulder blades down the back. Shoulders are away from the ears. You can keep your gaze looking forward or you can come to close your eyes. Now you can stay here, or if it's accessible to you, you can come to grab opposite elbows. Or you can bring your arms into reverse prayer. So wherever you're at, we'll just take a couple of breaths here. You're pulling the elbows away, back and away from the body. And relax. We're going to come up onto all fours. So we'll bring the palms down under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We'll just do some cat-cow. So as we inhale, we're going to drop the navel and look up towards the sky. As we exhale, we're going to curl the spine. Bring the shoulder blades away from each other. You're pushing your palms into the mat. Bring your chin to your chest. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling back down. We'll continue for a couple of more rounds. Just slow and steady movements to the rhythm of your own breath, the inhaling coming up, exhaling back down. Next inhale, we're going to come back to center. We're going to come to lie down on our stomach on our mat. So you can walk the knees back and slowly lower down to our mat. We're going to come to bring the elbows under the shoulders. So you can grab opposite elbows to make sure that they're shoulder distance apart. And then you bring the palms out in front and just push them into the mat. Feet are flat on the mat. So you come into Sphinx pose. Draw your shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades are squeezing in towards each other. So we hold it here for a couple of breaths. So you exhale, slowly lower down towards your mat. You can release your hands. You can bring them into a pillow and just rest here for a couple of breaths. Letting your body relax down towards the mat. Bringing the focus back to the breath. Slow and steady inhales and exhales through the nose. Next inhale, lift your forehead and bring the arms around, and we'll come to interlace the fingers behind the back. So squeezing the shoulder blades together, bringing the palms of the hands together so the outside of the palms are also touching, and try to lift your chest a little up off of the mat, pushing into the feet. Take a couple of breaths. And exhale, slowly lower back down. You can release your hands. Again, you can take a little rest, bring your hands into a pillow under your forehead. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Next inhale, lift your forehead. This time we're reaching the hands around. You can bend the knees, and we're going to reach for the ankles. So we're pulling the ankles away. You can stay here, or as you inhale, you can come to lift the knees and the upper body a little off of the mat as you come into bow pose. So we're really opening up the chest. And exhale to release. We'll bring the palms down beside the chest, pushing back up onto the knees. And we come into a child's pose to counteract those gentle back bends. So you can have a wide-legged child's pose, bring the toes together to touch. Knees open out towards the edges of the mat. And we'll come to walk the hands forward. Next inhale, we're going to look forward. We're going to come up onto the knees. So bring the knees hip distance apart. And we're going to come into puppy pose. So the feet are flat on the mat. We're going to come to walk the hands forward. We're going to bring our forehead down towards the mat and our chest. So you're opening the shoulders here. You should feel a good stretch. Bring your forehead to your mat and take a couple of breaths here. Now if you want to deepen the stretch, you can bring the palms of the hands together, interlace the fingers, and as you bend the elbows, bring them towards the back of your neck. Release the hands, bring the palms back to the mat. We'll slowly walk back. Come to sit on the heels. We'll bring the legs out in front. We're going to come to lie down on our mat this time. So you can slowly lower down. Keep the soles of the feet on the mat. We're going to come into a bridge pose this time. So you can bring the heels close to the sit bones. Fingertips should be able to touch the heels. So we're pushing down into the soles of the feet. And as we exhale, we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So we're leaning back onto the shoulders. Should stay flat on the mat. We'll just hold it here for a few breaths. And exhale to slowly lower back down. One vertebrae at a time, so your spine slowly comes back down onto the mat. We'll take a rest for a couple of breaths. exhale, we're going to come up into bridge again. So we're tucking the pelvis, engaging the core, pushing into the soles of the feet, slowly rising the hips up towards the ceiling. This time, see if you can come a little deeper. You can push into the palms, push into the feet. You can even come to interlace the fingers behind the back and shuffle up onto the shoulders a little more. Do whatever feels good for you here. We'll hold it for a couple of breaths. Next exhale, you can release your palms, place them on the mat, slowly lowering back down. Just come to hug the knees into the chest, gently rock from side to side. You can come to stretch the legs out in front. Let the heels fall away towards the edges of the mat. Arms away from the body, palms facing up. As you come to close your eyes, and just relax in Shavasana for a few moments. Bringing your awareness to your breath. As you let your breath come back to a normal rhythm. Feeling your belly rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. And just bring your awareness to your shoulders. With each exhale, let them relax and sink into your mat. Next inhale, bring awareness back to the whole body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your ankles and your wrists. Gently rock your head from side to side. As you inhale, reach your arms back overhead. Bring the feet together and stretch the whole body. As you exhale, you can bend the knees, hug them in towards the chest. Take a breath here. We're slowly going to rock up towards seated, so you can cross the ankles, rock up to a cross-legged seated position. You can bring your hands to your knees. As we inhale, we'll reach the arms up overhead, bring them into prayer. Exhaling, back down to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that little shoulder sequence for better posture. Hope to see you again soon.